In today's video, we're going to be talking about how PUBG Blindspot is already dead 2 months after it came out in early access. Epic Games lays off 1,000 people, and OpenAI kills Sora for real this time, and it is completely dead. My name is Detective Jelly. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I do these types of videos on Mondays as well as video essay style stuff on Fridays. Now let's get right into the video. Starting with the fact that PUBG Blindspot is dead after 2 months of early access. Now I have to say that the first time I ever heard of PUBG Blindspot was when all the news outlets were saying that it was closing down. I have basically never heard of this. And for anyone else who hasn't heard of it, PUBG Blindspot is a top-down Rainbow Six Siege, basically. And it honestly, through gameplay footage and stuff like that, looks pretty good. It looks much early access, to be fair. It does look like early access, but unfortunately, it seems that it just did not gain enough players for people to actually keep playing it. I've seen in the Steam reviews that for the most part, people complain about how the fact that it takes a long time to queue for matches, which makes sense because the game only ever hit a top concurrent a little over 2,000 and basically never got any higher than that. And the daily active was only a couple hundred the last time I checked. And this is a really sad thing because once again, it's another live service free to play game on top of the graveyard of all of these. But this one feels a little bit weirder because this is not a copy paste game. Like, this is a different game. Like, there is a game in here that some people enjoyed. Because when you look at it, the game has mostly positive reviews with 1,400 reviews posted and 74% positive. So the game seemingly was actually enjoyed by the people who played it. The problem is that no one played it, or very few people played it. Like, a couple thousand people played it, which is a good thing. And don't get me wrong, like, a couple thousand people is nice, but this is also Krafton and PUBG. So they probably need a much more convincing for the game to be continued service for the cost. And it really sucks because once again, like I said before, like, I'm not here to celebrate more games shutting down. And this one seemed like a unique concept, at least. I don't know many top-down PvP games that are like Rainbow Six Siege with agents and stuff like that. I am sad that I never actually knew about this game. I would have tried it out if I knew it existed. And that really sucks. It feels like this is a failure of marketing, if anything else, because basically no one knew that this game existed. I've looked around, other than the couple articles about talking about that it's shutting down from like PC Gamer, IGN, Kotaku, all the like the normal gaming websites. The only thing I found before that was a couple IGN and PC Gamer articles about it a year ago when they got invited to play it, or they got a preview build of it basically. But other than that, nothing exists basically that I could find. So this seems like a failure of marketing or lack of marketing. Like, I don't know if it's fair to call it failure of marketing, because is it a failure of marketing if you don't market it at all? I don't know. That's like a confusing thing to think about, but basically zero marketing. And it's unfortunate because once again, game looks decent. The characters look fine. The graphics look fine. The gameplay looks fine. I saw some people complain how the UI does feel a little generic and the menus feel a little like default engine style of menus. But other than that, most people were complaining about that and some optimization stuff, but no one ever complained about the gameplay. Everyone seemingly enjoyed the gameplay, but unfortunately not enough people played it. And this is also one of those things where I personally also blame Krafton, because Krafton is bleeding money right now. They are basically losing money on everything, especially considering they've just lost a lawsuit to the Subnautica devs. So I can't imagine them doing good on other sides when something isn't immediately successful. Because unfortunately for Krafton and the PUBG Corporation, other than PUBG, I don't think I've ever really seen a game do well from them, which is unfortunate, other than PUBG Mobile, I guess. PUBG and PUBG Mobile are like the two games that make them a ton of money. But other than that, it seems like they have been really struggling in terms of making different games. And honestly, if this one continued on in early access and then had a 1.0 launch and they marketed, I could actually see this game doing well. But unfortunately, you need to be willing to ride it out, and I just don't see them really. I mean, obviously, they don't think they could ride it out, and it sucks. Another interesting thing though is Arc Team, the developers, are not owned by Krafton, so they can be doing something else. So the devs, while they're no longer working on this game, they could make something else. And I'm curious to see if they try something like this without the PUBG license, because like this doesn't need to be PUBG, honestly. They could make this game and rebrand it or do something else, because like basically nothing speaks PUBG to me for this game. If anything, they should honestly go to Ubisoft and see if they can pitch a top down Rainbow Six Siege. Just like have the agents or whatever they're called from Rainbow Six Siege. Like I'd be down to play that. That'd be interesting if they could just go to Ubisoft and it's like, hey, we literally made this. We could try it with you guys. If we have marketing, I think it'll be a good thing. And everyone knows what Aim Rainbow Six Siege is. And the casual audience, I think, will be much more into a top-down shooter, tactical shooter, rather than a first-person shooter, because Rainbow Six Siege, while it has a big audience, it's a really hardcore game. Even the casual side of Rainbow Six is very competitive. It's similar to games like Counter-Strike, you know? The casual Counter-Strike players are still decent Counter-Strike players, or at least decent compared to the other casuals in other games. So I feel like there is some hope at the end of the tunnel for Arc Team. Maybe they make a similar game like this. I'd be down for a co-op game version of this if they can make like enemies, NPC enemies, and you break in and like do like almost like a single player Rainbow Six Siege or Tom Clancy style thing. That'd be kind of interesting. Or a single player version of Hotline Miami, obviously slower paced and more tactical based. And then you don't have to worry about the agents or anything like that. You can just have loadouts and stuff like that, and you could just sell the game and it wouldn't be a free-to-play game because it'd be co-op online, and you don't have to worry about server costs and stuff like that. You can do peer-to-peer, all that co-op good stuff. So I'm, at least that's me assuming that is generally lower cost. I assume those are generally lower cost from what I've heard around the industry. So hopefully something positive comes out of this with Arc Team, but it's sad to see a game that looked interesting and actually had an interesting take on something actually just fall through because I basically never heard of it, and I'm in the know. I actively look for new things and I didn't know about it. So I don't know how on earth a casual video game audience would ever learn about this game. Moving on to more sad news, unfortunately, Epic Games announced recently that they are going to be doing 1,000 layoffs within the Epic Games team. And they are saying that this is because of the downturn in Fortnite engagement throughout 2025, which started in 2025 and it is continuing on. And they are doing major saving cut cost, basically, along with other $500 million of other savings through other contracting, marketing, and other things to be put in a more of a stable place. And I do have to say, this is the stupidest reason ever. I can't believe Epic Games can say that they are losing money through Fortnite or anything like that. Like, don't get me wrong. Epic Games are making a lot of dumb decisions and a lot of stupid decisions, but I can't imagine them actually losing money. It's that they aren't making as much money as they were before. And to be fair, they are saying Fortnite engagement is down, but they're still the most popular game in the world, so you can't tell me that they are actively losing money or red. Unless they are spending stupid money on Fortnite, and I don't think they are. They're spending money on Fortnite, don't get me wrong. All the collabs and the updates and stuff like that cost money. I don't think it's, they're not spending money, but I just don't see how they could possibly be losing this much money to need this much cost saving procedures to go this nuclear on themselves. And this is me putting my tinfoil hat on, because I just think it's because everything other than Fortnite they've done is failed horribly. Like the Fortnite Creator Club thing kind of worked, like the codes and stuff like that, but the creative map building scene around it basically doesn't exist. It's filled with bots, and basically pretty much no one uses it from what I can tell. They're shutting down the racing one. The Epic Games store is just a money sink at this point, and they basically, I can't see how they're making any money with that. Unreal Engine 5 is costing them a lot of money, I could guarantee it. So I feel like Fortnite is the only thing they're actually making money on. And for it to actually be the thing that they're apparently blaming makes no sense to me, because there's no way that this is where they are actually losing money. It's everything else around them, along with the fact that Fortnite can't sustain being the most popular game in the world. Like, eventually you will go down. Like, eventually players will get bored or move on. And we've been saying this for years at this point for Fortnite, and it's still top dog, but like, you can't ride that. You can only ride the wave for so long until you need to figure something out. And I feel like they just never figured something out. They just continued sinking money into other things that just didn't work. And they also sunk money into things that didn't make sense. Like, I still don't understand why Epic Games is going the way they are with the store, because everything else didn't work really. Like, the store is basically useless. I use it to get the free game and log off, and sometimes I play those free games, sure, but if I didn't play Fortnite every once in a while and need that free game, or want that free game, basically I don't think anyone would use the Epic Games Store. I don't know pretty much anyone that is a consumer of video games that chooses the Epic Games Store over something else. Like, I know people that choose GOG before Steam, and most people are loyal to Steam because Steam is a really good service and GOG is a really good service, but the Epic Games Store isn't a good service. You know, like, it's a bad store. It takes a long time to download things on it. It's just not a good service, which is the biggest problem with that store. And it's annoying when things are locked off because of a year-long exclusivity or whatever they do. So it feels like they're just spending a ton of money on things that aren't actually making money, other than Fortnite, because I'm assuming Fortnite is still doing well. They're just not doing as well as it was before. And overall, this just sucks. It just sucks because Epic Games is not losing money. I don't believe them when they say, "Oh, we need cost-saving measures." To this extreme, because you're Epic Games, you're making literally so much money. But the thing is that, you know, these investors and these CEOs, they need more profits, more things. They can't go down even though they're technically still making profit. And to be fair to them slightly, they are doing a pretty good job in terms of severance packages for the people that laid off. And while that is nice, it's a good cherry on the top of this crap pile. It just sucks overall. But we are going to end off on a pretty good story, in my opinion, because OpenAI is shutting down Sora, the AI video creation tool, along with the fact that Disney has also canceled its $1 billion investment into OpenAI following the closure, which makes sense. And the reason I think this is a good thing is because Sora is so useless and it was making terrible videos, and now we don't have to deal with the fact that people constantly think that these AI generated video things are going to replace video games for some reason, when all they do is just make a really bad video that looks like a video game. And it's going to be interesting to see if this is going to have any trickle-down effect for other OpenAI stuff, because OpenAI is, I was saying Epic Games is bleeding money, but like, OpenAI is literally waterfalling in terms of money. Like, they haven't made money ever, basically, and they're spending billions upon billions, and they eventually need to actually make money at some point, or they're just going to go out of business. So I assume this is one of the first things they're going to do, because I have absolutely no idea how you make money off of Sora. There's arguments for making money off of the other things, but I highly doubt that Sora was making money, and it probably costs the most, because it probably takes the most electricity and the most memory usage to make AI videos over like the AI text stuff or the AI algorithm stuff. So I assume Sora was actually probably the most expensive one, and it was also the one that probably made the least, which makes sense overall, because in general, AI stuff doesn't make money, but AI video doesn't make money even harder, it feels like. So I'm curious if the other apps that do this type of stuff is also going to go under, or if they're going to shut down the other AI generated views. To be fair, Sora is really the only one that I know of, because I know there are other ones, but Sora was like the big headline one for the most part because OpenAI was using it. And this also shows that OpenAI maybe is making good decisions. Kind of. I don't know. It's really hard to say when it comes to them. I am kind of sad that Disney isn't involved in this anymore, only because they were giving them permission with the $1 billion investment to use their IPs, and I couldn't wait to see the stupid stuff that people using Sora were going to make the Disney characters do, because they're going to make them do messed up stuff. Everyone knows that, but now we're never going to see that stuff, at least legally. I'm sure stuff like that already exists, but like with Sora in this deal that is now dead, they had legally allowed them to use with Sora, which would have been hilarious to see Mickey Mouse do terrible things. At least within reason, of course. I'm sure people are going to take it too far eventually, But to see the funny stuff in the beginning and then it take too far, obviously that's going to happen. But I wanted to see the funny stuff. But now we're never going to see the funny stuff. So that kind of sucks overall. But luckily, it is a good thing overall for this thing to finally die. And I'm so glad I never have to look at those terrible AI video game in quotations because those were not good or video games at all. They were just terrible videos. But that is the end of today's video. I appreciate everyone for being here and hanging out and listening to the whole thing. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I do these videos on Mondays. And if you would like to check out the channel then, I also do videos on Fridays where they are more video essay style stuff where I talk about subjects. I'm kind of on a movie stint right now. I've talked about Iron Lung and I'm talking about Super Mario movie before, and this week there will be a video about Sonic the Hedgehog, the first one at least, because we're gonna have to go through all of those. So make sure you're subscribed and hit the notification bell to see those videos when they come up. If you would like to support me directly, you can go to Patreon at patreon.com/the Techno Jelly. You get to see your name in the credits as they go along the screen right now, as well as a once-a-month live stream that we do. We hang out, have fun, play games, and all that good stuff. If you'd like to support me super directly, I have an affiliate code TechnoJelly. You can get 10% off of your order if you go to poggers.shop in the description, off of their energy drink mix product, as well as sleeping aid and hydration mix, and their shaker cups. 10% off using code TechnoJelly, so please go check them out. If you'd like to follow me on other platforms, I have a Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and Threads. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Goodbye, everyone.